Terrorism's yet another of those unseen threats. Do you worry that you're feeding into this culture of fear that we've developed?
I think we need a lot more fear. I think people have no idea how bad things are on the Internet. The Internet is fundamentally broken, and not only is it broken, it can't be fixed. It was designed without security in mind. It was designed for completely other purposes, to make sure that people could communicate without a single point of failure. You know, a bomb goes off somewhere, people will still be able to communicate to each other. That's true, but there is no security at all, and the ecosystem of the criminals is much better than the ecosystem of the free market in the West. The bad guys are reinvesting what they've gained through phishing and spam and other means, and buying better development. There are zero-day exploits which get you into a computer even if it's fully patched and up to date with the latest and greatest security software. I'm running out of people I know that haven't had their machines compromised by a virus or a hack. You just can't count on your information being secure at all, and I think what needs to happen is a pretty massive investment in new protocols, so that you can keep your computer if you have to, you can keep the fiber optics and the chips, but there needs to be new ways for computers to communicate in a secure fashion. Keep the Internet we have for perhaps consumption of entertainment, insecure communications with your friends, your family, but anything financial, anything commercial, anything military should be over a new network. It's an extremely bad way, and I don't see how we can get there without people being educated about how dire the situation is.
You touched on the fact that the Internet's a huge threat to national security. What can be done about that?
Well, as I said, we need greater awareness, and we need new protocols, which is an enormous endeavor. But in the meantime, we need to be aware of what's happening. In terms of national security, I'd say the greatest threat is from the Chinese, who have put thousands upon thousands of people to work to ferret out both military and commercial secrets from the U.S. and many other countries, and they're extremely good at it. The attacks on Google are, I think, really a watershed moment. If Google, a company with that sort of sophistication and power, can't protect itself effectively from hackers, then we have to assume that pretty much every company of any significance has already been hacked.
There are a lot of extraordinarily clever people out there, hackers, who at the moment are possibly working for the bad. Can we convert them into sort of white hackers, and how can they be put to use?
I think there's a lot to that. I think these people need to be supervised pretty well. There's quite an embarrassing, and there's a number of embarrassments for U.S. law enforcement in the book. Certainly one of them is that the man that was eventually charged as, well, let's back up. The man who was their way into Shadow Crew, which was the biggest U.S.-based site for identity thieves, and where they traded cards and the ability to do things with those cards and everything else. The informant for the Secret Service was one Albert Gonzalez, and he later turned out to have been running at the same time the greatest identity theft in U.S. history, some 40 million credit cards, worse than anything Shadow Crew was accused legally of doing. So, yes, we should use the bad guys when they turn good, but we should keep an eye on them. Some of the best work in Russia that's described in the book came after Ivan Maxikov was arrested, confessed to everything to the MVD and the British detective who was here, and agreed to conduct chats online as if everything was fine, so they could watch and learn from him. Yeah, there's a tremendous potential for that. And in general, there has to be much better relations between official police investigations and the private researchers, who almost always are better informed about the way